to being a little cozy in here is being outside in the heat. And so we're inside today. Thank you for being here for this event, State of the University and rededication of the Gary Center, rescheduled due to a water main break, but part of our homecoming week. So thank you for being here. I'm going to say this now because I don't want to forget at the end. The hard work of everybody that put into the planning of this. I know our architect, Heidi Hefferman, is here also, but a lot of the architects, everybody who was a part of this, the outside street area, landscaping along Oak and Vine, the care for that, it just looks gorgeous. And at the end, you will get a chance to tour. We've got students here who would be glad to show you around the new home for our Honors College. But thank you for being here. We're delighted that you could join us. I want to first thank my wife, Dr. Dominique Bellinger, who is teaching and cannot be here with us. But this job is a real partnership, and I appreciate all of her support as we work together to move UTC forward. I couldn't ask for a better partner. In a few minutes, we'll reflect on the transition of the University of Chattanooga from a private university to being part of the University of Tennessee system, an institution that is part of the state of Tennessee and has really prospered from the support that we receive. So much, if not all, of what I'm going to discuss is a direct result of this support from the state and the University of Tennessee. And I want to acknowledge Tennessee members of our General Assembly who are here. Representatives Patsy Hazelwood and Yusuf Hakeem are with us. Thank you for being here. Senator Todd Gardenhire had planned to attend but had something come up at the last minute and did call. So we thank them for their support. I want to give a special welcome and thanks to President Randy Boyd, Kim White, I don't know if she's here, Board of Trustee member, members of our UTC Local Advisory Board, and current and past UC Foundation board members. They are such important partners in what we do. Thank you for all that you do for us. I also want to acknowledge Mayor Burke, who is here. Thank you. He's been a great partner between the community and the university during my entire time here as Chancellor. This is my 7th year at UTC, and I never fail to appreciate that we're standing on the shoulders of those who've come before us. And in particular, I stand on the shoulders of Roger Brown, Fred O'Bear, and Bill Stacy, who are here. Thank you for your leadership, and we are where we are because of your leadership. Thank you. And the remarks I'm going to make today on the state of the university reflect the accomplishments of the entire UTC team, their commitment and passion to provide the best possible educational experience for our students. That's what drives this university forward. Every member of the team is vital to our success, no matter what your role, and it's an honor to work with each and every one of you. So thank you for what you do. We're fortunate to have a very talented group of leaders, and I'd like our executive leadership team and deans to stand and be recognized, because what you do matters so much, and you are a tremendous team that I get to work with. Please. I will note our new provost, who planned to travel around the state of the university address, but didn't plan for a water main break. Jerry Hale is not here today, but not because he didn't want to be. I'm pleased to report that the state of the university is strong. Enrollment is steady, and student success metrics have continued to improve over the last 6 years. As we look forward, we must first look back to the 1960s, a decade that defined our country, culture, and the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. America was at war. A young senator from Massachusetts was elected president but died from an assassin's bullet. Social unrest led to the civil rights movement. Early globalism emerged from a British invasion of musicians, and music was the messenger. As a country, we took on great challenges. In 1962, President John F. Kennedy said, and I quote, "We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard." That challenge is one that we are willing to accept, one that we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win. End quote. And his words still resonate today. In 1969, the first steps were taken on the moon, and a giant leap pushed us into an unexplored future. In 1969, the University of Chattanooga, a private liberal arts school, transitioned to a public institution, the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga, charged by its board with effecting continued movement toward academic excellence. The merger also included an agreement with the United Methodist Church and Chattanooga City College, formerly Zion College, located 6 blocks from our campus, and signaled a broadening of our public education mission. I want to note that Dr. Horace Traylor, who was president of Chattanooga City College at the time of the merger, was the first African American to receive a degree from the then University of Chattanooga, a Master's of Education in 1965. With those of you in the audience who participated in the transition from the University of Chattanooga and Chattanooga City College to the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga in 1969, I'm not sure how many of you are here, please stand and be recognized. I think if we include some family members, I know we have some families. What incredible vision that opened so many doors for our campus and for our community. The span of 50 years and the tireless contributions of many people bring us to the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga today. Since 1969, we've seen many changes. A campus of 1,300 students has grown to more than 11,600. The University of Chattanooga Foundation has grown from $3 million in assets to over $200 million. Scholarship endowment funds total over $31 million, providing nearly 1,500 scholarships. Being part of the University of Tennessee system has opened doors of opportunity for our institution, our students, and our community. Growth in the numbers of students, degrees, graduates, invested funds, and an expanding campus are one way to measure progress, but so is our unwavering commitment to student success, excellence in teaching, a valued liberal arts approach to education, and partnerships with our community to develop thinkers, doers, and explorers. 2019 was a significant milestone year. And we have time to reflect and recommit to our vision to engage students, inspire change, and enrich community. We set off on a path in 1969 with a vision that remains part of the fabric of our university today. Where we are going as an institution is defined by our rich history and our mission to serve students and community. We're here today in the renovated Gary Center, named for a Chattanooga family that has led the university, spearheaded numerous campus physical improvements, and invested in our educational mission. The Alexander and Charlotte Gary professorships were started in 1961 and are a lasting tribute to the accomplishments of the university's 7th president and his wife. There will be more to share on the Gary family a bit later. Local families and their investments in UTC have been important over the years. Harry Probasco led the 1914 campus building committee that envisioned a main group of buildings on the hillside overlooking Macaulay Avenue. His grandson, Scotty Probasco, more than 50 years later, played a decisive leadership role in the University of Chattanooga Community College and University of Tennessee merger. Probasco, Gary, Lupton, Brock, Davenport, DeCosimo, and McClellan are among the many familiar names that over the decades have influenced and financially supported this institution. We add Gary Rollins to that list, a 1967 graduate of the University of Chattanooga whose generous gift of $40 million will fuel continued campus transformation. While the name of the institution evolved with time, the reason we exist remains unchanged. We are here for our students. We owe them our very best. They are the next generation to take on the great challenges. Our students are our future. Some people question the cost and value of a post-secondary degree. For UTC students, the value of a degree lies not just in competency in an area of study, but equally important is an understanding of their role and responsibilities as a caring, compassionate, engaged citizen of our society. As we work on issues like the cost of a degree, we focus on the added value that comes with a college degree. Exposure to a myriad of perspectives and cultures, growth as an individual, and skills to navigate life's unexplored opportunities. Higher education expands horizons beyond what is known to encourage an understanding of why, encourage inquisitiveness, and venturing outside of comfort zones. We continue to look for ways to streamline processes and focus resources on distinctive academic experiences that are scalable across multiple disciplines. Our new provost, Jerry Gale, is leading a collaborative approach for UTC to be a model for 21st century academic excellence. An approach that connects classroom teaching and real-world application. This intersection for students of classroom education and real-world experience will leave no one sitting on the knowledge sideline. This distinction will define the UTC education and attract more students. The 2014 Gallup-Purdue Index survey of 30,000 college graduates found that if employed graduates feel their college prepared them well for life beyond college, they are 3 times more likely to be engaged and productive at their work. The study also found that experiences in college that contribute to feeling prepared for life include internships or jobs where students apply what they're learning in the classroom, active involvement in extracurricular activities, and working on a project that took a semester or more to complete. For our faculty, staff, students, alumni, and community partners, the people who are UTC, this is direct evidence that what we do matters. This is important, life-changing work. We engage students, inspire change, and enrich community. At our retreat last month, the campus leadership considered Goal 1A of our 2015-2020 strategic plan, which calls for every student to have a valued experiential learning experience, a bridge beyond the classroom. We agreed experiential learning needs to be woven into the fabric of our institution, and it will be a requirement for every student. This fall, we implemented a tuition model, SOAR in 4, to help new freshmen graduate faster and reduce the overall cost of their education. Graduating in 4 years means spending less on the cost of an education, incurring less debt, and an earlier start on a career or graduate study. Our new tuition model offers additional courses, sections, increases tutoring, supplemental instruction, and provides more need-based scholarships. We are addressing affordability. More than 50% of our students graduate with no debt at all. Over 75% of our students receive some type of financial aid while they're a student in UTC. And in the fall of 2020, the UT Promise Last Dollar Scholarship will guarantee free tuition and fees for qualified Tennessee residents. And we thank President Boyd for his leadership in establishing this program, which will increase access to a college degree. And it was his leadership that brought this about, and he worked seamlessly with his chancellors, and we appreciate that. THAC, the Tennessee Higher Education Commission, shows our graduation rate at 64%. Our goal is 75%. We are improving pathways to achieve these higher outcomes. We're focused on student success both in the classroom and outside of it. Increased retention and higher graduation rates are measures of value, but we're also focused on the growth of every student as we work to provide broad cultural and societal experiences. The metrics in our strategic plan have seen significant progress in many areas, but not to the level we expect in the area of diversity and inclusion and engagement. The measures for Goal 4, the goal is to embrace diversity and inclusion as a path to excellence and societal change, have been modest, and we're committed to achieving more. Greater diversity in student recruitment, retention, and graduation is a priority. Building a diverse faculty and staff and leadership team is a requirement if we are to be successful. We can open doors that have been locked. We must seize the opportunity to be a truly outstanding university as we embrace diversity and inclusion as the path to excellence and societal change, as we've laid out in our plan. We will push forward and achieve our strategic objectives. First, we will hire a cabinet-level leader for diversity, inclusion, and engagement, and we will foster an environment of openness and civility and student experiences that expand knowledge and encourage collaboration to solve problems. Second, the Campus Commission on the Status of Women will be established and chaired by Dr. Pamela Ashmore with an initial focus on women in our faculty and improving diversity through our faculty ranks and our academic leadership. When we recall 1969 and the inclusion of Chattanooga City College, a predominantly African-American junior college, as part of our merger, it signaled a commitment to diversity, inclusion, and engagement. UTC serves all of the people of Tennessee, and we are committed to do just that. When I was selected as Chancellor, a point of distinction for my wife Dominique and for our children and I was the support of the alumni and this community, the people of Chattanooga. This is a kind, caring, engaged place to live and work. UTC is so much stronger because of our community. At UTC, we benefit from a collaborative process as we participate in planning discussions on a healthcare corridor, the revitalization of MLK Boulevard, and the Smart City Collaborative. We look to being an even more engaged convener on community issues to bring diverse voices to the table for meaningful conversations. This is fulfilling our service and social responsibility through facilitation and ensuring the whole community has a seat at the table. While UTC has evolved, much more is ahead, physically through construction, intellectually through distinctive educational experiences, and culturally through a better understanding of each other and a willingness to give back. UTC will strive to exceed the challenge posed by those who signed the transfer agreement in 1969 outside of Founders Hall, where their task to us was effect continued movement towards academic excellence. This remains our task. As we reflect on these 50 years as part of the University of Tennessee systems, words penned by UTC's first chancellor, Dr. William H. Masterson, in the 1969 Moccasin Yearbook, captured the roots of UT and the promise for growth in the years ahead as part of the UT system. His words resonate today and indeed still define the direction for the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. I'm indebted to Alexis Hurley on our staff, who read through the moccasin and found this quote that I'm about to read, because it really does define the advantages as part of the system, where we've come from, but where we are still going. The quote, "Nothing in campus life lies outside a student's university education. Musical productions, dances, dramatics, student publications, athletics, fraternities and sororities, special interest groups, concerts, bull sessions in the dormitories, and student government are all as much a part of college education as classroom and laboratory. In all of these areas, as well as in the broadening of the curriculum, the education at Chattanooga will be strengthened by the change before us. We shall be larger, but not unmanageably so, or impersonally so. Our tradition of concern for teaching and student welfare will still be very much a part of us. On the other hand, the enlargement of the student body and the faculty will provide the numbers and diversity of interests that will give all these curricular and co-curricular activities the necessary vitality to become valuable to more university men and women. Similarly, our campus will become a larger, more coherent physical entity that will provide proper facilities for these activities. These things will not come overnight, and the new face and personality of the university will evolve over the years, just as new traditions will be added to, but not supplant present ones. The point is that no new university, wholly strange and different, is to replace the present one. Rather, the university we know, we believe, will develop greater breadth and more opportunities for those of you with whose lives it will always be associated." End quote. It really summarizes where we are and where we're going. And I believe UTC has done well over the past, and we are positioned for the future as we look to make a difference in this community and serve our students. Thank you very much. Part of our ploy to draw people to the State of the University address is to have an event celebrating the rededication of the Gary Center. And I want to return to my earlier comments about the Gary family and the State of the University address. The University of Chattanooga Student, Faculty, and Alumni Center was dedicated in the fall of 1958, and 3 years later it was named the Gary Center in memory of the University of Chattanooga's 7th president, Alexander Gary. He served as president from 1929 to 1938. We're here today to rededicate this newly renovated Gary Center. It's approximately an $8 million project which was funded with capital renovation funds provided by the state of Tennessee, the General Assembly, and Governor. And thank you to members of our local delegation for making sure that UTC is included in the funding for these events, these buildings. When Alexander Gary served as president of the institution, his focus was on true learning and sound scholarship so that the university would be an institution of merit and excellence. Dr. Edward Lindsay, an English professor from 1924 to 1968, had this to say about President Gary, quote, "He really made the university. More than anybody else, he encouraged the idea of excellence," end quote. As the home to our Honors College, the Gary Center is a shining star of excellence that brings the best and brightest to UTC, encourages scholarship across the entire campus, and is a coming together point for scholarly pursuits. How fitting that the newly renovated Gary Center is home to our UTC Honors College. President Gary's sons, their children, grandchildren have carried forward the commitment of excellence. Through their ongoing support and encouragement, the institution has continued to flourish. I hope that John Gary, one of Alexander Gary's sons, was going to be here today. I don't know if he came in late or not. He's been a valued friend, and his grandson, Zan Gary, is here today with us, and will make some remarks in a few minutes. I'd like the Gary family to stand. I know Alexis Bogo is here too. Thank you. The connection of the Gary name to today's rededication is further strengthened by the fact that the major gift that allowed us to launch the UTC Honors College in 2013 that gift was made by members of the Gary family. Zan Gary and his family and Hamiko Foundation helped us get to where we are today, make the case for this renovation, and provide this outstanding facility that is going to take our Honors College to even greater heights. And I'd like to invite Dr. Linda Frost, Dean of the Honors College, to the podium to share some thoughts on the importance of this physical structure, the Gary Center, to building an outstanding Honors College into our campus. And then she will introduce Mr. Zan Gary.
Hi, I'm Linda Frost, and I'm thankful for all of you coming today. It's been a long time in the making. It was in fact September of the first year that I was here, and when the Chancellor was here in 2013, when Provost Gerald Ainsworth told me that the whole building would be a dedicated honor space. I am very grateful to him for that, and I'm very excited to be here. And if you haven't seen me these last couple of weeks, you don't know how excited I've been. Whirlwind all over the place. There are so many things I can tell you about the Gary Center and the Honors College at UTC. I can tell you, for instance, that this room, that was once the University of Chattanooga Student Center, is today called by most of campus the Flag Room. How many people know this room as the Flag Room? Yeah. And that's because at one time it held flags from all the southern states. Later, it held flags from all the countries that were visited by UTC honor students. In the Honors College, we refer to this room simply as the reading room. If students are calling it Hogwarts, they like to do that. We expect that this will be the nomenclature that survives the next 54 years as we're doing something different with the flags. They've not gone away, but we are doing something different with them. I also want to reassure you, if you're concerned about the stained glass, that's coming back too, don't worry. It's a kind of more time-consuming process to refurbish that glass and to hang it back up, but it is coming back. And of course, if anyone here would like their name on this room, just catch me up the river back. I can tell you about all the amazing people who have over the years supported UTC Honors, people like the Gary family and the Hamiko Foundation, the Brock family, the Probasco family, the Guthries, the Forlitases, the Oldhams, the Aubairs, the Burtons, the Sombracks, the Kennedys, the Donovans, the Bells, the Clevelands, the Townsends, and many more. All people who have found worth in supporting our efforts to create the best honors entity, not just in the Southeast, but really in the nation. I really believe that. All of our donors have short films on the monitor you see in the reception area when you first come in that will explain what their gift meant to them and to the university. So if a student gets the O'Bear Scholarship, and we've got Fred's interview running right now, they'll understand who Fred's mother was and a little bit more about that gift. So it's more meaningful. So that's what we have running right now. In front is a filmed interview with donor and Chancellor Emeritus Dr. Fred O'Bear. Of course, there are legendary leaders of honors at UTC that more than deserve mention. Peter Consapro, Bob Fulton, Gavin Townsend, Greg O'Day, Joni Sombrack, June McEwen, Debbie Bell, Melissa Birchfield. And those of us who are working in the Honors College now, if my people will just wave their hands, Greg O'Day, Debbie Bell, Cherise Williams, Leslie Pusey, Rebecca Caldwell, Owen Foster, Jada Coons, Justin Colvin, our graduate assistants and our student assistant directors. We've grown. It's pretty exciting. I can tell you stories of our students, Rhodes Scholars, Fulbright teaching assistants, the first of which is she there or Simone? Honey, I'm sorry, I told you I was going to do it. Simone Edwards who's our first in 50 years, we think, Fulbright, student Fulbright recipient. She had a little downtime before going to Guatemala, so I asked her to come play piano for us, and she did great too. But there are students here, so if you're a student at the UTC Honors College right now, let's give us a loud go Mocs, will you? A loud go Mocs, guys. Here's what I want to tell you about most of all. Honors started at UTC in 1977 with 20 students in a small chunk of this building, in this space and the two spaces behind here, that were more spaces than now, but now there are two. In 1979, the Lindhurst Foundation started a scholarship endowment that eventually became the endowment that honors William E. Brock Jr., who's pictured out in the lobby. That endowment today supports 200 Brock scholars in their studies at UTC. Called first the University Honors Program, then Brock Scholars, and now the Honors College, which includes the Brock Scholars Program, as well as newer programs like the Innovations in Honors Program. The UTC Honors College today enrolls almost 350 students. We're not quite done, but that's where we are right now. When we began the design for the renovation of the Geary Center, we wanted it to highlight both our history and our future, our traditions and our innovations. And I am so excited that this design does exactly that, at least in my eyes. I want to thank Heidi Hefferlin and her colleagues in Hefferlin and Cronenberg, Gabe, who's not here anymore, but Chris, and Jen and Wilson. I want to thank all of them. Where's Heidi at? Right there, Heidi Hefferlin. She was the architect. She was wonderful, led us through a really beautiful design process for this building. We took inspiration from other campus spaces on campus, Teresa Lincoln's library in particular, and places from Chattanooga like the Edney Center, Lamppost, even the atrium city space of the Mountain City Club. We looked at all of these to get a sense of what we should do in this space. I hope that you'll see that blend when you walk through the building, as well as keep in mind that it's a little bit unfinished still. There are a couple little things we have to finish, as our work in honors always is. To that end, I also want to thank all the people who came together these last few weeks to make today possible. In particular, Mike Andrews, Jacob Cagle, Terry Denniston, Laura Cagle, the rest of the Chancellor Party crew, as I call them, Stephen Rumbaugh, Elisa Griffin, Brian Rowland, Nancy Mullins, James Sproul, Ray Saldana, Chelsea Ewing, Tom Ellis, Richard Brown, and Danny West, who I have on speed dial. With the new Geary Center, the Honors College becomes a literal open door for students to have more initiatives that they know what to do with, for faculty who want to try out something new in the classroom, and for anyone who is drawn to spending some time in this truly inspiring space. The Geary Center and the reading room will be open during the day for anyone in the university and the Chattanooga community to enjoy it. So please come and hang with us. The Honors College serves all majors, and we are truly the university's interdisciplinary college. We are so very proud to be the stewards of this transformed and transformational space. When you go around the building after we officially cut the ribbon to open it, I hope you'll look at all the rooms that are open. We have students throughout the building who can tell you about what happens in those rooms, how hard the classes are, if they can whine a little bit to you. And they can also just tell you about honors, what we do in the Honors College. They're wonderful, and I'm glad they're here. Also, make sure you pick up copies. Would you grab one of those, Lisa? These. We have copies of the issue of the Echo from 1965 when the building was first dedicated. The front and the back issue that shows, or front and back page that show the story about that dedication, as well as copies from the moccasins, so you can see what it was like at that point. And also, Geary Center coasters are all over the building. Very excited. So while honors wasn't always the Geary Center's primary purpose, it is the only home that honors at UTC has ever known. And it is very, very fitting. The primary gift from the Hamilco Foundation, in particular Mr. Zane Garrett, comes from the same family that has housed honors all these years. I know I wouldn't be here if it weren't for him, the other members of the Hamilco Foundation, who provided the $1 million family gift that made the Honors College a reality. That gift was an act of vision and a leap of faith, and I'm glad you took it. Some of you are sitting on that gift right now. If you're on those pretty blue chairs, right? Sam is a name known in Chattanooga for so many things. Brilliant business at Chatham, exemplary athletic skill at tennis, powerful civic support, godfather of the Baylor School, dare I say. To me, he has been a mentor, a supporter, and a friend. And I'm very, very happy now to introduce to you the grandson of the man for whom the center is named, Mr. Sam here.
Godfather of Baylor, I'll have to tell them. Some might agree. Anyway, my grandfather died right before I was born, a few months, so I never knew him through my father and my uncle. I've heard of him and I've read things that he wrote, but I think a commitment to excellence would be spot on when you do him, and it would be spot on for my uncle, who I'm sorry couldn't be here. But on behalf of Uncle John, my daughter Alexis Bogo, my wife Julie, and myself, thank you to Chancellor Engel, Linda Frost, thank you to the university, and all the other people who made the gift possible. I think it was maybe the best investment the state's ever made in terms of the power that the Honors College can bring to the university. So I thank you for that. Congratulate Chancellor Engel not only on this building, but his 7 years here. It's momentum. I mean, that's what you want in a leader. You want momentum, and he's delivered that. I don't have to repeat all the things he's accomplished, but in addition to this, Linda Frost really had to take a entrepreneurial thing, start with a few students, now we're up to 300, but I've had the opportunity to get to know her and work with her passion and see how much she has, fought to get this thing to where we are now, and I know she has great ambition, so congratulations to her. Congratulations to Randy Boyd. We've known each other in the education field for a long time, and I told him that I really wanted to be governor, but now that he's here, I'd much prefer him to be here with us, working, and kind of the UT promise was something that we had various discussions about a long time ago, and perhaps in some cases, underappreciated, Bill Stacy. We probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Bill Stacy and his, he was my teammate in so many ways. And so he really encouraged Hamilco and encouraged me to get involved in this. And so thank you. I know he's here. Thank you. Here he is right there. Normally on an occasion like this, I'd be nervous about what words can capture such an amazing event, but I'm actually not the slightest bit nervous about that because I'm not going to give you any words from me, but I'm going to give you some words from my grandfather, which I think are appropriate for the occasion. I think they'll give you a little insight into who he was and why people seen his uniqueness, and I think they will kind of inspire all of us today. The first would be speaking directly. This was a letter he wrote, and they would speak directly to our president and chancellor, but to their whole teams. He writes, "The first essential of greatness in a university or in any agency of man is the belief in its continuing, never-ending existence, a conception of its own earthly immortality." Earthly immortality. A university must have faith that is created to service mankind, to seek the truth, to hold tight the light of learning, to preserve justice, freedom, democracy, and order, not for some brief span of history, but forever. A university must feel that it is founded to teach and guide, enlighten and inspire the youth of the land, not for a generation or two, but for generations upon generations in never-ending succession. So that was a letter he wrote titled that. The next piece speaks kind of to his devotion to education, but in particular he wrote eloquently about libraries and books. And so this was at the dedication of the library, which I think is appropriate for the Honors College to do. A book means education and above all self-education, learning through one's own effort A book is therefore opportunity. It represents also equality of opportunity. The chance for a man or a woman or a boy or girl to lay hold on knowledge and out of their own desire, their desire for the development of their abilities and talents. There is no barrier to this privilege in our nation or in any democracy once a person can read and have the use of books. For me, a library is a symbol of freedom because books are symbols of freedom. Freedom is in part rooted in knowledge. Ignorance destroys freedom. A people can be free, ought to be free if they have books. Books reveal the past, interpret the present, point out the future. A library and its books can help people find wisdom and insight into which is right and just and good. Finally, a library and its books give happiness. Happiness without discrimination, except for the unlettered. The happiness that springs from knowledge, from association with great minds, great ideas, and great ideals. The happiness that comes from growth through time, well spent in the company of worthwhile friends. And then to close, I think a pretty good close actually. My grandfather had a tendency or a habit of writing to world leaders. Might not write to as many today as he would have in the past, but he used to write to a lot of world leaders, and I don't know how many responses he got, but I have actually the original one that is dated December 17, 1931. And the letter says, "Dear friend, I thank you for your letter of last December. The only thing I can think of to the fresh entrants is that they should put character before literary knowledge. Yours sincerely, Mahatma Gandhi." So, that's pretty cool. and you know, one of the reasons that our foundation, and we work with a lot of other great institutions, you know, in Chattanooga, but one of the reasons that we work with UTC and have worked for so long is, you know, the character of the individuals. Fred O'Gara worked with a lot, Stacy and Chance Triangle, and the character of all people at the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. I think character is a symbol that the university presents very well. As Bill Curry would say, you've made my day. Thank you.
So that's hard to top, so we won't. But thank you all for being here, and I appreciate it. Thank you, Zan and Linda. You know, the Gary Center has a long history. It represents the reason we exist, our students. And you'll feel that as you walk through this building and see and hear what the students have to tell you. That this is here for them. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate each and every UTC staff person, faculty member, our supporters in the community who are always there for us, always working hard and thinking about how do we do the best job we can to make this a great university. It is really a team effort. We'll now have a ribbon cutting on the front steps of the Gary Center to mark the official rededication of the Gary Center. Dean Frost and Mr. Zan Gary will have the scissors to cut the ribbon, and the rest of us will gather around them. The Gary family, President Boyd, our elected officials who are here, community partners, and campus leadership will gather around. We will step out on the front steps. You can go out the back door or the side door here beside me. And after the ribbon cutting, we'll have tours available. Talk to our students. They are amazing. And we have food located throughout the building, so be sure to get around to all of them. And the coasters are a gift for people that you can have as a memento of this occasion. So thank you for sharing this important milestone for us. We really appreciate you being here. Let's move to the front steps and go Hawks!